What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got another banger. Today we're gonna talk about Spider-Man 2. We're gonna go over a quick recap, get you all caught up in the briefest version possible. So be sure you stick around so you can jump into Spider-Man 2 knowing what is going on. Be sure if you like this video, hit the like, comment, subscribe for more. It's open for discussion in the comments. Correct me if I'm wrong, talk about it, do whatever you gotta do. If you know something that I don't, drop it below. But with that being said, let's get straight to it. Alright, so first, jumping into Spider-Man Remastered. Spider-Man Remastered starts off with a call to Peter Parker from NYPD to assist them with the arrest of Fisk, also known as Kingpin. Spider-Man joins in, they get Kingpin, and then he returns to his normal life. Spider-Man is revealed to be working for Doc Octavius, also known as Doc Ock, when he is a villain, but right now he is not a villain. And during all this, JJJ does not know, which is also the news reporter. Like I said, Dr. Octavius is not evil. He wants to help people. And Peter, instead of working a normal job, even if it doesn't pay the bills, he wants to work side by side of Doc and help the people of New York City. After the defeat of villain Shocker, and Peter runs into Mary Jane in a heist mission inside of a museum. In this version of the Marvel Universe, Mary and Peter are not dating. This is just shortly after a breakup, which it kind of makes it awkward, but it all works out. The gameplay was awesome, but that's besides the point. With Kingpin gone, Lee and his gang take over the territory with plans to destroy Osborn in the city. After Doc and Osborn found the corp together, the mayor turned his back on Doc, so Doc's kind of salty at this point. They do not get along and Doc wants some revenge, but he's kind of on the edge. He's a good guy, but just wait. Doc is suffering from a disease that is destroying his body, and during this disease, Peter is helping him with some prosthetics that can be controlled with neural implants. Regardless of the help from Peter, the disease is making Doc corrupt and really wanting him to take over Oz. Later on, at a rally for Norman Osborn's re-election, Lee and the demons attack. Norman gets away, but there is one officer that did not make it, and that is Miles Morales' dad. Parker then tries to reach out to Miles Morales and talk him through this tough time and ends up getting Miles to join Beast. And during the rally, Peter witnesses Lee turning into Mr. Negative. And while helping Feast, Miles gets bitten by a spider, which was brought in by MJ after she had snuck in to Osborn's lab. Later on, Spider-Man and MJ go to learn about a bioweapon. This bioweapon is called Dragon's Breath, which was created by Osborn in search of a cure to cure all diseases. At this point, the Sinister Six is kind of forming. You meet a few of the villains. Doc Ock takes this devil's breath and spreads it all over New York City, causing anybody that comes in contact with it to have a deadly disease. Spider-Man then goes to track down Martin Lee, who is holding Norman Osborn hostage. Spider-Man then goes to fight Lee, and eventually Lee gives up on his efforts on revenge to Osborn. And at that point, we're in the middle of some great combat, and Doc Ock shows up and overpowers Spider-Man, nearly killing him. Octavius then leaves with Osborn and the cure, and Spider-Man heads back to Feast to quickly recover. Shortly after the recovery, Spider-Man builds a stronger suit, a tougher suit, and heads out to fight Doc. After they tussle, Spider-Man defeats Doc. Doc gets arrested and ends up with Peter, bringing the cure back to Feast. And in the midst of this, the devil's breath has spread and his Aunt May has come in contact with it. Spider-Man then has to make a decision whether to use the one vial to save Aunt May or New York City against the devil's breath. And as a superhero would do, he saves the city and ends in a grieving passing of Aunt May. And that's kind of the end of Spider-Man Remastered. We get some cutscenes showing Miles Morales and Peter Parker one-on-one talking about Miles' hidden ability. He then shows Peter, and then we go to another cutscene of the Osborns, where we then see this black goo on Harry in this clear tank filled with like green liquid. So that really just set the mood towards this black goo. Gets us real excited. But let's jump into Miles Morales. Jumping into Miles Morales, we kick things off with a battle against Rhino with Miles and Peter. During this battle, Miles discovers his secret powers, this electric venom that becomes really useful in taking down these enemies and fighting whoever needs a beatdown. Shortly after this Rhino fight, another fight breaks out, this time between Roxxon and the Underground. Miles digs in, of course, and finds out the leader of this underground gang is the Tinkerer, which then he realizes is his longtime childhood friend named Finn. And during his adventure, web swinging, he runs into his uncle Aaron. And since it's a relative, he lets him in on the Spidey secret and lets Aaron know, if you need any help or see any trouble, let me know so I can dig into it and protect New York City from all the crimes. And Aaron agrees. They have a one-on-one reunion, so to speak, and Miles moves on and continues his day. Now we're moving on, and we have now discovered Prowler. And guess who Prowler is? Uncle Aaron. But Prowler joins in with Miles, thankfully, and helps defeat Roxxon and get the truth about Nuform. Nuform had made Finn's brother deadly sick in the past. It is kind of similar to Dragon's Breath, but they end up finding the truth about it, and they get in some more combat, and Miles' uncle ends up holding Miles hostage. He ends up holding Miles from trouble. He doesn't want him to get tangled in with Roxxon and the Underground, which ends up with them butting heads. Miles then gets in a fight with Prowler, beats his uncle up a little bit, and escapes. Miles then goes on and learns about Finn's plan to destroy the Roxxon building, which will ultimately destroy Harlem. Miles talks to her and tells her that it's a bad idea. Finn agrees, and then they join hands, not literally, but they team up and work together to stop this explosion. To stop this explosion, Miles has to use his venom powers to absorb this Nuform energy and take it all in. So that is what he does. He goes up to this Nuform energy and sucks it all in, and he holds it all into a suit. It's like it's in his body, and Finn flies up to him, and it's all dramatic. He tells Finn, "Get off of me. Get off me." But Finn wasn't going for it. Finn grabs him up, flies him way up into the sky, away from civilians, to safely let all this energy out. Miles then explodes and lives, but Finn doesn't. Miles lands safely on the ground. He gets healed up, comes back to life, gets moving. But after this explosion, the spotlight gets put on Roxxon. The CEO gets arrested. The Prowler ends up turning himself in, and the city is safe and is all on Miles' side. Peter then returns to New York City to join forces with Miles, and the game kind of ends here. We go to another cutscene which shows Harry Osborn again, showing this black goo, and also to Norman, who is talking to Kirk Connors, which is the Lizard. So at the end of the day, this is where we stand with Miles and Peter. They join forces. They're protecting NYC. We have leaks of the black goo, some enemies, Venom, Lizard, and Harry in this black goo. And the nerves are built up for this Spider-Man 2 release. If this recap helped you, please drop a like. If it did not, drop a comment. And either way, hit that sub for me. If you want to see this gameplay live, you don't want to miss it on release day, where we are going sub for sub, one gifted for one gifted. Heat will match you for every sub gifted. You don't want to miss the action. The action is going to be incredible. This game's going to be awesome. It's going to be game of the year. We already know. The world is excited. I hope you enjoy the gameplay, and we cannot wait to see you in Spider-Man 2 with Miles and Peter. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.